Okay, today I want to talk to you guys about a very, very important um, life lesson in Plexus. And that is, my team is going to be a reflection of me. And what I'm saying is, I can never push my team harder than I push myself. It's easy in network marketing, especially when people first sign up. They get this misconception of network marketing in that, okay, if I can just sponsor that one person or those two people who are going to work super hard and take me right to the top, then I'll be set. And then when they don't succeed in signing those one or two or three ambassadors up who are going to take them to the top, then they get discouraged and they quit and they fall out. You can never push your team harder than you push yourself. Um, so how hard do you push yourself? Are you the one? Always the leader is the one who needs to make the most sacrifice. The person in the upline, that person who, and if you're in somebody's downline and the person doesn't do that above you, then make sure you don't do that to your downline. Make sure you're going to be different. You're going to set yourself apart. You're going to be the one who breaks that chain that says, I'm going to be the one who leads my team to success. Because the leaders are the ones who are walking across the stage and who are being successful at conventions and who are making the big bucks, so to speak, who are affecting the most lives. They're the ones who are making a difference, not the ones who are sitting back waiting for their team to do all the work for them. In the long run, they'll end up falling out and they won't end up finishing the course. So a leader in the military, a leader in anything, is always the one who makes the most sacrifice. He's always the one who's up the latest, up the earliest, who's sacrificing the most of his time, who's pushing himself the hardest, who's leading by example. You can't expect your team to jump out there and be motivated to lead meetings, to be out there and invite people to meetings, to post on Facebook consistently, to be telling people about it every day, to be getting those 5 contacts a day, to be following up with at least 3 a day, to be signing up 1 or 2 every week or 2. How can you expect your team to jump out and do that when you aren't the one who's leading by example? So how bad do you want it? What are you willing to sacrifice? Now, I've said in the past, it's important, don't get it out of balance. Don't sacrifice your family on the altar of, I'm going to build my business in Plexus and affect other people's lives. But at the same time, you need to treat this like a job, like a business. If you're going to be in this, be in it. The Bible says, whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all thy might. That doesn't mean I'm going to put half of my effort into this. That means I'm going 110% until I reach my goal. Whatever it is that you set your first goal at. And then when you reach that goal, set another goal. Drive yourself until you reach the top. If you're going to be involved in something, do it with everything you've got. Don't be in it halfway. Draw your line in the sand. I heard Sonia Dudley talked about that in a previous video. She said, draw your line in the sand. Decide what you're going to do. Step over that line. Make that decision. This really, network marketing as a whole, comes back to a decision. When you decide, I'm going to do this, I'm going to treat this like a business, I'm going to make this thing happen. The people who aren't successful in this business are those who just nonchalantly kind of get involved and hope that they sponsor those people. Lead your team by example. When you look in the mirror every morning, that is what your team is going to be like. Now, in my case, I hope they don't have to look like this. But as far as your team growing, the leadership and stuff, you're the one who's going to set the pace for your team. If you're going to be a fast leader, if you're going to jump in there and you're going to teach them how to build their team, how to grow significantly, how to affect the most lives, then you're going to grow a big team. You're going to grow quickly. You're going to be successful. But if you're that person that is just going to sort of just sit off in the sidelines and watch this thing happen, you're not going to go anywhere. It's just like a fish. A fish in the water, if you just sit there, you're going to die. You have to swim to breathe. If you want to survive, if you want to breathe, if you want to thrive in network marketing, the faster that fish swims, the more oxygen he's flushing through his gills. The faster you move, the faster you're going to go. The more people you're going to sign up, the more lives you're going to affect, the more momentum you're going to gain. The more your team is going to be inspired, the bigger your team is going to grow. So the harder you work on signing up those first downline people in your first level, the harder you push yourself to make sure you're consistent on Facebook, the harder you're making sure I'm consistent, I'm leading meetings every week or two, I'm being consistent. The harder you're pushing yourself in those areas, the more you're going to see results in other areas. So I'll get off my soapbox. Bleh, I'm not British. The harder you push yourself, the more results you're going to see. Your team is going to be a reflection of you. So make that a good reflection so that your team is successful and you guys make a difference together.